Hi guys, my name is Bess of Bess Yance Illustration, or if you're one of my students, you know me as Miss Yance. So if you're one of my students, hello, and I miss you guys like crazy and seeing your creativity every single day. Today I just want to introduce an activity. It happens to be Earth Day today, and decided to focus on Impressionist art, specifically the art of Claude Monet, because he loved nature. He painted things based in nature all the time, had beautiful gardens that he worked from a lot of the time. So I want to just kind of walk you guys through how to apply an Impressionist art style to a pretty small, simple little drawing. So it could be something easy enough you could do at home, and then once you learn the basics, you can apply that to a small little drawing if that's all you have time for, or you could apply it to something bigger depending on what materials and things you have at home. So I'm going to be actually taking a look here just outside my windows. I would go outside, but it's a little chilly today. So I'm just going to take a look outside my windows and see what outside in nature just kind of makes an impression on me, basically. So what I feel emotionally or catches my eye visually that I can use as my subject matter for today. Alright guys, so I took a look outside each of my windows and just looked for something that kind of caught my eye, and came across at this window a collection of trees right back here that just looked really cool to me. I always see them out here and they're just kind of funky looking, cute little shape. They kind of just bring me joy looking at them. They have almost kind of a Dr. Seussish character to them. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and draw those. So today, I'm gonna focus more so on those trees. So I might even cut out all this other stuff in here and just focus on those trees, maybe add a horizon line and some sky. It's pretty cloudy out today, so maybe I'll change my sky up to be a little bit more bright or colorful, sunrise or sunset, something a little bit more interesting like that too. So the materials I'm going to use today, I'm going to be doing a very small little drawing. First of all, because it's cute. Second of all, because I do not have too much time today, and I'm just kind of doing this as practice to kind of get an idea of how I can apply Impressionist sort of drawing and coloring to this. So I'm not going to worry about it being anything too big or taking up too much time. I'm also going to be using just a regular pencil, as well as my kneaded eraser to do the sketching portion. So when I see you guys next, I will have my drawing done, and we will be over in the coloring area to start applying our Impressionist style to how we add our color to our drawing. My cat Sherlock has totally claimed the window space already, so I'm gonna have to scooch in next to him to do some drawing, and hopefully he will let me share that space. Right, Sherlock? Right? Yeah. Alright, so I have my drawing all done here. Now, a couple different things. I'm going to be using watercolor for this one, mainly for the sake of time and speed. Watercolor can be a little more frustrating, but it can also be a little bit faster to get the look that you want. But by no means does this mean that any other materials couldn't work. I could just as easily use colored pencils and apply the same technique, or use crayons and get kind of the same look. Now, I have both a blessing and a curse. This looks really nice and cute. However, it's going to be pretty difficult, especially with watercolor on this small of a picture, to get all the little teeny tiny dash marks that are what create kind of Impressionist art. So Impressionist art has basically an impression of a thing through the use of small dashes and dots to it. So I practiced a little bit with some watercolor, kind of making nice small little dots, some bigger dashes and things like that, just to kind of get the feel of it, so that way when I start applying it here to my final drawing, I kind of at least have a little bit of a muscle memory motion kind of already in place from practicing. So that's up to you. If you're working on a bigger piece of paper, then this is going to be probably much easier for you to make those strokes without having them kind of get muddled up and messed together. So now I'm going to start this process. So like I said, the Impressionist art style, one of the key components to it was making small little dash mark lines. So I'm going to start off with my tree and show you guys my tree, and then I'll show you guys the entire process after that. So I'm going to grab, first starting a little bit more traditional, we're going to start with some greens here. And again, I need to keep an eye on how much, if you're using watercolor for this, how much water to paint I have. If I have lots of water, then my paint is going to spread very quickly, so it's going to be kind of challenging for me to get those nice little impressionist dots. If your water does spread a lot and start to cover your area, don't freak out. You could also just let it dry and consider that a nice little background color, and then add some darker dots and things over top and still get kind of that impressionist style. So I kind of tried in here to get a little bit of some value already. I was making some areas darker and some lighter, so that way when I come in here with my paint, a lot of the work is already done for me. So now I'm making little dash marks. I have quite a bit of water on my brush, so that's why you see it kind of bubbling up there. So I need to probably just wipe my brush down here a little bit, ease out some of that water, grab a little bit more paint, and then go again. So now I can continue to make these little dash marks. Now when I'm doing these, one of the nice things about Impressionists were all the different colors that they used. So I'm currently going to do green. Now normally I would work all the way through with my green first before switching colors, but just for the example here, I'm going to go ahead and I want to add a little bit of darker value in here with this. So I'm going to clean off my brush. Again, kind of squeeze some of the water out of my brush so I don't have quite so much water unless I need it to activate my watercolor paint. And I'm going to gotta clean my brush one more time. I'm going to grab my blues, and with my blues I'm going to now start adding some blue in for some of my darker tones in here. So one of the things Impressionists did really well was applying lots of different colors. And so even though this might end up being completely full on color, adding in those little flecks and those different colors in there can be really beneficial. All right, so now I'm gonna finish up this and continue with the whole rest of my painting in that style of all those nice little dashes and dots.